This year, a lot of us will be studying online and many people will be doing it for the first time. So if you're nervous, stressed or overwhelmed about online study, take these thoughts, put them away, lock them with a key, and honestly, do not worry because I'm here today to help you out. If you're new here, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Claudia and I've been an online student for the past 4 years. I'm studying for my psychology degree and I'm also working full time. I try to do YouTube and kind of have a life outside of my studies. So over the past few years, I've been really mastering the arts of organization and productivity. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my best tips on how to stay organized and succeed with your online studies. And if you want to see more organization, productivity and personal development videos, then please make sure to subscribe down below and turn on the post notifications so that you never miss another upload. First of all, I want to point out that online studying is independent learning. What this means is that it requires you to want to learn and to make yourself do it. So based on this, the tips that I'm going to be sharing with you today will be focusing on 2 things. First, on how to stay organized so that you know what needs doing, when it needs doing by, and what things you need in place to be able to do it. And the second one is on how to be productive so that when you're actually studying, you can do it efficiently and you don't waste your precious time. So let's start with the organization tips. And the first one is to plan ahead for when the unexpected happens. If you got sick or anything happens in your life that impacts your ability to focus, it's very relieving to know that you can take a short break from your studies if you need to because you've already planned for it. It gives you peace of mind and it ensures that you won't miss any deadlines because of things happening outside of your control. My second tip is to make a master list of everything that you need to do throughout the year. This might include reading certain books, doing online activities, doing certain assignments, revising. So basically you want to end up with a massive list of everything that you will need to do that year. Online study is very self-directed. No one's going to be chasing you for things, or at least not in my experience. So it's very important that you know exactly what you need to do so that you can keep on track of things. Figuring out exactly what you need to do throughout the year might seem a little bit daunting at first, but I honestly find it so useful because it allows you to very quickly see where you stand with your studies and plan accordingly. Plus, it's very satisfying to be able to cross things off the list and see your progress throughout the year. My third tip is to design a study schedule. The beauty of online study is that it's very flexible. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, which is both a blessing and a curse. So you will have to organize your own study sessions because no one else will do it for you. I recommend that you work from your master list and make a to-do list each week of what you need to achieve to stay on track with your studies and schedule everything into your calendar. I usually first schedule in the things that have set times. In my case, this is normally my work hours, online classes, and any weekend or evening plans that I already have, and I then plan study time around them. I know roughly how long each type of task will take me to complete it. For example, I know that reading a certain chapter from a certain book will take me 45 minutes to an hour, and I know how long an online class will be. So when I make my weekly to-do list, I write down the approximate time that each task will take me, and then I block schedule study time for each task, allowing enough time. My pro tip here is to plan things for when you work best. For example, I like reading about complex topics first thing in the morning as I have more energy and I find it easier to concentrate, and I tend to do easier tasks like watching videos and doing less demanding activities in the evenings. Let me know in the comments what your study schedule looks like. I would love to know, and I would also love to know what you're studying, so let me know that as well. My next tip is to schedule in time for planning. This is a very important one. I don't think many people do this, but like I said, online study is very self-directed, so you need to make sure that you have regular catch-ups with yourself to know what's working, what isn't working, what you should change, because it's all on you. I usually have a weekly organization session first thing on Monday mornings or last thing on Sunday evenings. I do prefer Sunday because it helps you feel centered and prepared for the upcoming week, and it ensures that you know beforehand when you will be studying so that you can complete everything that you need to do to keep on track with your studies. My next tip is to schedule in break times. When you're studying, it's very important to take breaks because they help you improve your focus and attention, and they're especially important when you're studying online and on your own. So make sure not to jam pack your day with tasks, plan breaks during long study sessions, and take care of yourself outside of your study hours as well. My next tip is that if you're not already doing so, use a calendar. If I could pick just one thing for everyone to take away from this video, is to get into the habit of adding everything in your calendar and checking it regularly. This will ensure that you're aware of what's going on, from study deadlines to dentist appointments, and it will help you stay on top of things and not forget anything important. important. My pro tip here is to add everything into your calendar as it comes up. If I'm with friends and we decide on when we're meeting next, I will add it to my calendar then and there. If I'm at the doctor's and I'm making a new appointment, again, I will add it to my calendar there before I leave, because otherwise I might forget. I also check my calendar first thing in the morning every day. I personally use Google Calendar because it synchronizes across all devices, and it doesn't matter if I'm checking my phone, my laptop or my tablet, because I know that my calendar will always be up to date and reliable. You could also use a physical planner or anything that works for you, but get into the habit of putting everything into your calendar and checking it every day. My next tip is a very important one, although it might be a little bit boring, but it is to have a file sorting system in place. When you're studying, you end up with lots of notes and documents and papers everywhere, so it's very important to keep them organized so that you know exactly where they are when you need them. You could use a physical filing system such as binders or different notebooks for different subjects. You could use folders in your laptop to organize digital documents, and what I mainly use, which is Google Drive. Again, I like this because I work with different devices throughout the day, and since it synchronizes, it's very easy to continue working on something where I left it at any time. You can use a mix of different systems, do whatever works best for you, but make sure to have some sort of filing system in place to organize your physical and digital files so that you know where everything is whenever you need it. Let me know in the comments what type of file sorting systems and calendars or planners you use. I'm curious to know. My next tip is to check announcements regularly. With online learning, there isn't as much contact with lecturers and tutors, so it's very important to regularly check all lines of communication so that you never miss any important information. So make sure to check your Moodle, emails, forums, and so on. My next tip is a crucial one, and it is to have good communication. Since online learning is so self-directed, it's very important that when you do communicate with others, that being other students or teachers, that communication is clear. The last thing you want to do is to misunderstand some important information from your teachers or miss a deadline because of a communication error. So especially with written communication like emails and forums, make sure to write clearly and double check everything. So my last organization tips before we move on to the productivity ones is to arrive early to class. Make sure you log into the system 5 to 10 minutes before the class starts to ensure that there are no technical problems. If there are, you should be able to sort them out in that time, and if there aren't, you have a few minutes to catch up with your tutor and your peers, which is always nice. So moving on to the productivity tips, my first one is to get into the right mindset for studying. Online studying requires a lot of self-direction and focus. You have to make yourself study because no one else will do it for you, so making it easy for yourself and getting into the right mindset is key. It really helps to get dressed properly and be out of your pajamas, have a proper breakfast, and do whatever you need to do to get yourself ready to work. My next tip is very linked to this one, and it is to have a dedicated workspace. Having a specific place designated to study will help your brain acknowledge that it's time to focus. This really helps in getting into the right mindset to study, although it can be a bit difficult if you're struggling for space. I personally have a desk in my bedroom that's my designated place to study, but sometimes I also study in the living room or even in the garden if it's nice and sunny. It's about doing what works best for you, but I would recommend to try to stay away from your bed because then it can be a bit difficult to switch off your study mindset and relax and sleep in bed. My next tip is to avoid distractions. Like I've been saying throughout the video, online learning requires you to self-direct, so it's important to learn to recognize what distracts you from studying and try to avoid it during study sessions. For a lot of us, this is our phone and social media. I often put my phone on airplane mode or I leave it in a different room when I'm studying, and I also use apps to time my study session because then I know that I'll be able to check my phone when the timer runs out. Let me know in the comments where you study, whether you have a dedicated study room or you study in your bedroom or wherever this might be, and also let me know what you do to avoid distractions and focus. My next tip is to connect with your learning community. Online studying can be very isolating and you can feel lonely sometimes, so it's very important to try to connect with other students when you can. This will be different for everyone, but my course has online forums where you can chat with other people and participate in discussions, and I'm also in a Facebook group where students share how they're doing, support each other, and more often than not, vent about something. My next tip is to ask for help. If you have any questions or problems, let your tutor or your lecturers know. That's what your teachers are there for, and you will benefit so much from doing it. I know I struggled with this because I didn't really want to be a bother to my tutor, but I've realized that since I started asking all the questions, I learned so much more and my grades have gone up. So I know it's very cliche, but do not be afraid to ask questions. My next tip is to be flexible. You can create the perfect study plan, but life happens and your plans might sometimes get messed up. But plans are there as a guidance, not as strict rules, so do what's in your control to be prepared, but be aware that things might sometimes change and that's okay. And my last tip is to review how you're doing regularly. Getting settled into online studying is a learning curve, so figure out how you study best, what works best for you, and change how you do things if and when needed. So these are my tips for online study. I really hope that you found them helpful. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything that helps you stay organized and be productive when you're studying online. I would love to know, and I might try some of these tips out if I see that they could help me as well. And if you want to see more organization, productivity, and personal development videos, then make sure to subscribe down below and turn on the post notifications so that you never miss another upload. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out. Take care, good luck with your studies, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!